中を泳いでクローレン流されてたどり着いた二つ違う形当たり前でないものねだりで埋め合わせ深く知るほど迷い込んでく想像していたいの晴れ息Baby feel my heart 夢中にさせてみせて立ち止まったり混ざり合ったりマイペース
Beijo nish swe nebe
We go out and pray for the water because the water is sick and it's contaminated, and we basically just do the water ceremony to pray for it for hopefully one day that that the water's clean.
The water on Manitoulin Island is mostly frozen on this bitterly cold day, but the prayer always has the same meaning. What may not be expected, it is being made by one of Canada's youngest water protectors, driven by the tradition and ceremony of her elders, and maybe even by a calling. Autumn Peltier is just 13, and in most ways, just like any other teenager. She texts a lot. She giggles, she hangs with her friends, and she makes slime with her sister. But she's also a little bit exceptional. Almost without expecting it, she has become a visible activist for safe drinking water and clean waterways for Indigenous peoples.
Why do you care about it so much, do you think?
Well, I guess it just really affected me seeing and hearing that there's First Nations communities that can't drink their water and it's contaminated because of pollution and pipelines from breaking. And yeah, just one day it really affected me and I actually cried about it. And it makes me really mad when I think about it. And I even talk about it with my friends a lot. I'm the Chief Water Commissioner for Anishinaabe Nation. I'm 16 years old. I'm from Manitoulin Island, and I'm currently living in Ottawa.
I'm doing this work as we can't just pray anymore. We must do something, and we need to do it now.
Water is a basic human right. Everyone deserves access to clean drinking water, no matter what our race or color is, or how rich or poor we are. When I was 8 years old, I was attending a water ceremony in a First Nations community. I asked my mom to go to the washroom, and all over the walls said, "Don't drink the water, not for consumption, boil water advisory." And we had to use hand sanitizer after using the washroom. And I was very confused as to why it was like that. So I asked my mom, "What does all of this mean? Why can't we drink the water? Why can't we wash our hands?" And then she explained to me what all of it meant, what a boil water advisory was, and that the community that we were in has been on a boil water advisory for over 20 years. I visited a First Nations community, I think, last summer, and it's at Awapiskat First Nation. They're a northern community in Ontario, and I had a chance to speak with the youth there. And honestly, some of the things they had to say they were heartbreaking. They were really sad. One of the kids said to me that she feels bad that her grandparents, who are both over 70, have to walk every day 2 kilometers with buckets of water to get their water from a well that everyone in the community has to share. And honestly, that's terrible. Like, I went there and you wouldn't even think that you're in Canada. They're living it, like I said, they're living in third world conditions, and we're in a first world country. It should not be like this. In 2016, I was at the Assembly of First Nations in Gatineau, Quebec, and I guess you could say I told off the Prime Minister when I was 12 years old. And that's honestly one of my like proudest moments that I constantly look back to, because I felt like I really made an impact when I spoke to him. I was told to not say anything to him, just to give him the gift. But there was something in me that, like, this is my opportunity to say something. So I took the opportunity and I said, "I'm very unhappy with the choices you've made and broken promises to my people." And then he said, "I understand that." And then I started crying. He said he will protect the water. And so with that, I'm gonna hold him accountable to that as long as he's Prime Minister, because That's a strong promise to make, especially to a person like me. I like to say that's when you know something is wrong, is when a child speaks up. And that's when you have to do something to fix it, because we shouldn't